What's up, guys? We're going to the next cycle, and I want to tell you about the pairing system and what makes everything work. Now, every cycle, we always do maximal effort, dynamic effort, and repetitive effort every single week. Now, the reason it works in our system is not necessarily the exercises themselves. The reason it works is how the exercises are paired. In the next few minutes, you'll see exactly what those pairings are, why they exist, and what it produces for you. Most programs run methods in blocks. Strength 1 month, hypertrophy the next, conditioning later. The problem with that is simple. Whatever you stop training, you start losing. At the Strength Laboratory, you train maximal effort, dynamic effort, and repetitive effort every single week concurrently. Strength stays, power stays, muscle stays, nothing decays. The variation happens at the method variation level, and it rotates every 6 weeks. Same parent method, new expression. That's how you keep adapting without ever losing what you built. Now, the exercises themselves are not the secret. Other gyms run squats, presses, and rows. The difference is how the exercises are paired so that one exercise primes the next. Two pairing tools cover the entire system. The maximal effort and dynamic effort work, contrast supersets are that tool. The repetitive effort work, metabolic pre-fatigue supersets are the tool. Each pairing exists because the science says it produces a stimulus a single exercise cannot. The pairings are the work. Everything else supports them. So a contrast superset pairs a stimulation exercise with the potentiation exercise. The stimulation exercise uses a challenging resistance lifted with maximal intent. The potentiation exercise that follows uses a lighter resistance moved with maximal velocity. The two exercises are paired back to back with no rest between them. The first exercise wakes up the nervous system. The second exercise immediately uses that wake up to express more force or more speed than a fresh set could produce. For example, a challenging sumo deadlift followed immediately by a sand dune step or jump. The deadlift alone would not build the jump. The jump alone would not build the strength. Paired together, you get both, and the jump is higher than it would be from a fresh start. The mechanism is called post-activation potentiation. When you lift a challenging resistance, the nervous system recruits the high threshold motor units. Those are the fibers responsible for the most force and the most growth. Those motor units do not switch off moments after the set ends. They remain primed for several minutes. The potentiation exercise that follows benefits from this priming. The same fibers fire faster and harder than they would in a fresh set. The common misconception is that rest between sets is always better. Now, that assumption makes sense if the only goal is recovery, but the goal here is to capture the wake up before it fades. Rest dissipates the potentiation. The pairing captures it. Example, a member who could jump normally 20 inches will jump 23 inches after a challenging deadlift because the nervous system is awake. The extra 3 inches is the post-activation potentiation made visible. Now, a metabolic pre-fatigue superset pairs a banded activator with a strength station. The first exercise drives the muscle into oxygen debt and lactic acid accumulation using continuous tension banded work. The second exercise is a strength movement that forces the nervous system to recruit the high threshold motor units to keep producing force. The smaller fibers have already been used up. The pairing runs with continuous tension, explosive concentric intent, and zero rest between the two exercises. Example, a hip circle abduction set, immediately followed by a seated leg press. The glutes are already firing hard when the press begins. The press does not waste any time finding the muscle. The press recruits the high threshold fibers from the very first rep because every other fiber is already tired. And that's the entire point. The mechanism runs on two parallel tracks. Track one is forced motor unit recruitment at the smaller fatigue-resistant fibers as they run out of energy. The body has to tap into the high-threshold fibers to keep producing force, even at a resistance that normally would not recruit them. The fibers that grow the most get trained whether the resistance is heavy or not. Track 2 is the hormonal cascade. Oxygen debt and lactic production triggers a release of growth hormone. Growth hormone supports muscle growth and continues to drive fat oxidation for up to 24 hours after the session ends. The common misconception is that steady state cardio is better for fat loss. Now, that belief is built on the idea that calories burned during the session is what matters, and it doesn't. Muscle mass drives resting metabolic rate. Growth hormone drives fat oxidation long after the workout is over. Steady state cardio does not trigger this hormonal response. Metabolic pre-fatigue pairings do. Example, after a repetitive effort session, you'll still be burning elevated calories the next morning when you wake up. And that is what the pairing system produces for you. More force from your nervous system in less training time. More muscle built with less joint costs than challenging compound work alone. More growth hormone released and more fat oxidized in the hours after the session. Every physical quality trained every week so that nothing decays. Every 6 weeks, the variations rotate so the body never fully adapts. And every 6 weeks, we retest the same 6 biomarkers: strength, lean mass, body fat, balance, posture, resting heart rate, so the result is measurable. You don't have to take any of this on faith. The numbers move. You see it.